West Ham 0, Tottenham 3. A nice day out in East London for Tottenham Hotspur. Welcome into Top of the Perch. I am your host, as always, Nick Burt. Of course, this is the first game post-international break, first game post-Daniel Levy era of Tottenham Hotspur. And it honestly could not have gone much better for Tottenham, as it ends in 3 points with Tottenham getting a victory over West Ham United this afternoon in East London. Of course, coming back from international break, you got decent amount of players who just haven't played during the international break, and of course a decent amount of players coming back from international break. Thankfully, no injuries during the international break for Tottenham Hotspur. That's always something that seems to curse this team. But here we are anyways, and we are fully healthy for now. Not going to complain about it at all. And Tottenham Hotspur get the victory this afternoon. First half, we'll start there because it was quite dreadful, if we're honest. West Ham, I think, I know they weren't in full control of the game, but they had a decent amount of possession through that first half. It felt like they were the ones on the front foot in that half. Tottenham were just kind of sitting back and a little bit struggling with play, if I'm honest. They were finding it hard to get anything going on the attack. And of course, that did worry me a bit. It kind of felt like the Bournemouth game over again, except that West Ham might not score in the game, just given that they are quite awful. And you go into the half, because there's not much to even talk about with the first half. The Christian Romero goal that was called off because of a foul, that VAR is game's gone. There is no way in the world that should have been called off for a foul on Kyle Walker-Peters. There's not a world where that is a foul there, but they call it a foul anyways. That was the biggest story of the first half, if we're honest. And that was absolutely dreadful decision. But come out in the second half, basically right off the rip, Popsar off a outstanding corner kick by Agzi Simons. Absolutely incredible. His first game, he beats the 007 allegations 47 minutes into his Tottenham Hotspur career with just a brilliant corner kick that goes to the far post. Sarr is just there alone. Heads it into the back of the net. 1-0 to Tottenham Hotspur. And then 54th minute, a very rough foul on Joao Palhinha by Thomas Soucek. Soucek shown the red card, straight red card. West Ham down to 10 men for the remaining 65, 66 minutes of this match. And it was, if it wasn't already all downhill from there, it was truly downhill from there for West Ham United. Lucas Bergevall gets his first league goal for Tottenham Hotspur in the 57th minute, basically right off the restart from that red card. What an outstanding goal. It's a goal that's been coming for him. I am so glad he got that goal. And then Mickey van de Ven in the 64th minute puts it away, 3-0 Tottenham, and it was kind of smooth sailing from there. All the substitutions came on after that, and there was there were chances, but there was no worry for Tottenham Hotspur. 3-0. This West Ham team is very bad. I feel like we kind of joke about the relegation word for them. Like there's a legit chance if things don't change, that's a real possibility for them this year. I was left so unimpressed by them. Of course, today was Mohamed Kudus' first game against West Ham, let alone at West Ham, since the transfer over the summer. Of course, that was always going to be a big deal. Of course, no goals, no assists for him today. But he still had a very good game. Can't fault him. I'm sure there was 1,001 things running through his mind today. So, great win for Tottenham Hotspur. It sees them sit second in the table right now. Again, it's match week 4. There's 34 match weeks to go after this. There's a lot of football left to be played. But Tottenham Hotspur have had a very good start to the season. And we'll obviously get into it. It really starts to pick up this week. Getting, I'd say 9 points out of a possible 12 to start the season would have taken that 10 times out of 10, given what the schedule looked like to start the season. So given that, let's get into the player ratings here from this match. Again, like I said, a good win for Tottenham today. Xavi Simons, his first game for Tottenham, his first appearance for Tottenham. Of course, he came on like the day before the Bournemouth game he got signed, so he wasn't going to play for that, and then the international break was there. So his first performance today earns him a 7.8. I thought he did really well out there today. Of course, like I said, he got the assist on the corner kick off the first goal for Hotspur. Great performance today. Nothing really to complain about. I liked what I saw. I'm liking what I can potentially see from him. I think he is going to be a superstar player for Tottenham Hotspur. I cannot wait to see how he develops. Mathis Tel got the start in that main striker position today. Gets a 6-6. I don't think the plan was really to run through him today, if I'm honest. But also, he didn't put out the greatest of performances today. That I didn't love. He needs a lot of play time. That's all it is. He needs to get developed to the league. I mean, he's 20 years old. I have faith in him. I think he can find a way to turn it around. I think he just needs time to play, and that's truly all it is. Mohamed Kudus, as I mentioned, his first match back at West Ham since the move over in the summer. He earns a 7.3. Like I said, no goals, no assists, no goal contributions today, but he still made his mark felt on this match. I thought he did very well today. I truly like this. Again, it was probably a very emotional day. He spent a lot of time at West Ham, I'm sure. Going back, there's a lot that happens. And I wouldn't expect him to have like the most outstanding of days today. So it is what it is. 7-3. That's what I gave him for the day. We get to our first goal scorer here. That was Pop Matar Sarr coming back from international break where he scored just a fantastic goal for Senegal at the Democratic Republic of the Congo. What a wild game that was. What I watched in that game was truly a sight to behold. Congo blew a 2-0 lead, lost 3-2. Pop Sarr's goal put Senegal ahead in like the 88th or 89th minute, and boy, oh boy, did all hell break loose past that. There were bottles being thrown on the field. There were like stadium seats being tried to be thrown on the field. They only landed on the track, but boy, oh boy, that was a wild match to watch. Pop Sarr, goal scorer today. What a goal, like I said, 7-7. Great result for him today. Joao Palhinha, He gets or earns the red card today. That puts West Ham down to 10 men. I thought he had a really good game in the midfield too. He gets 7-5. Lucas Bergvall. He is going to be my man of the match for the day. He hits an 8-7. He had the goal. He had an assist. What a game from him. Honestly, it might have been one of his best games in a Tottenham shirt so far. And I think today he showed why not starting him in the Bournemouth game was a mistake. I think he has to be a starter. I get that leaves out people like, mostly I'm thinking of Rodrigo Bentancur, who is still a pivotal player for Tottenham. Lucas Bergvall is special. He is such a special player. I am excited to see him play a lot more this year. I think we're going to see him play a lot more this year. What an incredible player. Absolutely phenomenal game today. 8-7, man of the match. Jed Spence, coming off his first England international cap. What a moment for him. I'm so glad Tottenham have another player mixing in with the England squad. Tottenham have the most player contributions for the England squad. Oh, my. It wasn't honestly his best of games today. I thought out of the back line, he was the poorest of the four, but still a decent day. I mean, a clean sheet. You can't complain about that. 7-2. Mickey van de Ven with the goal today, the third goal. Basically, I know it's not the sealer, but it was the sealer. An 8-2, I thought he had a very good performance today. It was honestly an outstanding performance for the whole back line today because Christian Romero gets an 8-4. He should have had a goal early on in the game. That gets ruled off. We already got into that. That was a mess. He has an assist on the day. Christian Romero, our captain. Honestly, that was incredible. Truly incredible performance from the backline today. Again, West Ham may not be good, but to get a performance like that is very good. Pedro Porro had a stinker of a first half. That second half really saved his score for today. 7-4. And Vicario, he earns an straight 8. He had some really good saves today of the chances that West Ham put at him. Obviously, there weren't many, but he did make some very good saves that helped Tottenham in this match today. We'll look at our subs. Destiny Udogie and Richarlison came out in the 71st minute. Those were Xavi Simons and Jed Spence. Udogie gets a 6-7. Richarlison gets a 6-4. Wilson, Odebert, Kevin Donzo, and Brennan Johnson all come on in the 79th minute. That was from Mathis Tell, Lucas Bergvall, and Mickey van de Ven. Wilson Odebert gets a 6-6. Kevin Donzo gets a 6.9. And Brennan Johnson gets a 6-7. He almost had a goal today off a shot in, I want to say it was stoppage time, that goes off the bar. Would have been offsides anyways, but still, very good shot. Thomas Frank gets a 7 for the day. I thought we could have probably done the subs a little bit earlier. That's what I'm knocking him for. I think we could have done it potentially a little bit earlier, just given where the match was going. So that's all I have to say about that. So for Tottenham Hotspur, like I said, it really starts to pick up this week. From here until the October international break, and then from then to November international break, it is 2 matches a week. Tottenham Hotspur start the Champions League journey this Tuesday, the 16th of September at home against Villarreal. It's hard to believe Champions League is already here, but here we are. It's a big game. With it not being groups anymore and it's a full table, you got to win your home games. I think you got to go 4 for 4 on the home games, and you probably got to win at least 2 of the away games. If you want the automatic qualification, top 8, I think you got to win 6 of the 8. In the last 2, theoretically, you draw. I don't think Tottenham can go undefeated in Champions League, but it would be really nice to see them do that. So Of course, we will be back here Tuesday night to recap that Champions League match. So thank you so much for watching. If you just stumbled across this video, click like, click subscribe, tell anybody you know about it. Like I said, we'll be back Tuesday to recap the first match day of the Champions League for Tottenham Hotspur in their return to the Champions League after winning the Europa League last year. So thank you so much for watching. We will see you again soon for another episode of Top of the Perch.